Hello, Ms. Brown. This is my project on conditional probabilities, and the option that I chose was perceptions of income inequality. This is the table of data that I chose. It took place in 2011, and it examines whether um, different races believe in strong conflict or not strong conflict between the rich and the poor. Something to keep in mind in this set of data is the fact that all numbers equal to 2084, which is very important when trying to find these probabilities. So here's some probabilities that I came up with. I'm going to read them off first, and then I'm going to show you the work on how to get each and every one of them. So belief in strong conflict if white, 0.6502. Belief in strong conflict if black, 0.7399. Belief in strong conflict if Hispanic, 0.6598. And belief of no strong conflict if black and Hispanic, 0.3001. And belief of no strong conflict if black and white, 0.6951. So now I'm going to show you how I got these probabilities. Starting in the top left, this is how I found the belief in strong conflict if you're white. So basically, you have to get first, the most important thing for me was getting the total, right? And the total obviously equals 2084. Once we got the total, we just have to get the people who believe in strong conflict, and we divide that number and we get 0.6502. Next, for strong conflict between the rich and the poor for black, it's basically the same process. You just have to get how many people believe in it and divide it by the total number, which was 2084, and you get 0.7399. Next, for strong conflict between the rich and the poor for Hispanics, again, this same process is used. Get the total and you divide it by how many people believe that there is a strong conflict, and you get 0.6598. Now it changes a little. So my next one was no strong conflict between the rich and the poor for black and Hispanic. So what we had to do first was we had to add the two numbers of the people who believed that there was no strong conflict, which was 542 for blacks and 709 for Hispanics. So once you get this number, it was 1,251. After that, we have to get 2084, which is the total amount of people that were surveyed in each race, and you had to add them together, which is 4,168. Then after that, you got to divide that by the first number, which was how many people do not believe in a strong conflict between the rich and the poor, if you're black and Hispanic, and you get the number 0.3001. Lastly, for strong conflict between the rich and the poor for black and white, it's a similar process. You have to first add together the people who do believe in these two races, which was 1,355 for black people and 1,542 for white. Sorry, flip that around. It was 1,502 for black and 1,355 for white. Sorry. That number equaled 2,897. And after that, you just have to multiply 2,084 times 2, basically, to get the total amount of people that were surveyed in these two races. After that, you divide it by our first number, and you get 0.6951. So those are my 5 probabilities, and how might these probabilities help us predict? So firstly, I think it's very clear to see that, at least in this set of data, that minorities are more likely to believe in income disparity and inequality. The black and the Hispanic belief for strong conflict between the poor and the rich was both higher than the white. Moreover, one example this data could be used for, I was thinking, I don't know, my mind went to presidential candidates and race, you know, presidential races or something like that. And I think if you have a candidate who is looking to raise minimum wage, or I put attempt to even out the playing field. What I mean by that is, make the poor uh, income high, make the rich income low, something like that to help even out all the income disparities in the country. Obviously, I think that minorities would be more inclined to vote for that person. So one thing to point out is that even though I do believe that minorities um are more likely to believe there was a strong conflict between the rich and the poor. White in this set of data, also white people believed it too. So out of the three races, all three believed that there's a strong conflict between the rich and the poor. So obviously, I think it's safe to say, if this was an accurate set of data, that if you were to ask the majority of people or all the people in the United States, you'd get some kind of like the same response, that more than 50% believe that there is a strong conflict between the rich and the poor. So that is my project, Ms. Brown. Thank you for listening, and have a good one.